Hello, this is CapCan Knows, the official podcast of the Capital Area College Access Network. We're excited to engage the community in conversations about college access. I'm your host, Jack Felinski, an AmeriCorps Vista serving with CapCan. Joining me is Dominic Violetta, fellow Vista and college advisor at the Wilson Talent Center, and our guest, Shawn, a current student at the Wilson Talent Center. Let's get started. First of all, Shawn, thank you so much for being here with us today.
Thank you for having me. I'm excited to do this. It's going to be fun.
Yeah. So we usually begin podcasts with a personal story from our guests about who encouraged them to continue their education beyond high school. But you're still in school. So who's currently encouraging you to pursue a post-secondary education, and what are your thoughts about doing so?
I'm very lucky to have parents who support me and are going to support me whether or not I choose to go to college. They're pushing me to do it because I feel I want to. But also, my chefs are big factors in driving me to go to college and pursue what I want to do. They're great people, and I'm very lucky to have them. I think it's a good idea to pursue some sort of post-high school education, whether or not it be college, trade school, apprenticeships, whatever it may be. It's always good to have that knowledge and something to fall back on at the very least if, whatever you really drive for doesn't work out.
For sure.
So, you were part of the CapCan Summer College Ambassador Program. Can you talk about what you learned, what that experience was like for you, and what it meant to you?
It was pretty great, honestly. I met a lot of cool people. I got to go to a bunch of different colleges and have a really in-depth tour. I feel like that they don't do for just a regular college tour. There was a lot of extra stuff. It was really nice being able to see what colleges are like the dorms, how the eating halls, how they are set up, and how colleges can vary greatly in size from MSU to something like Olivet. Mm-hmm. It's a real big difference because MSU has giant classes of hundreds of kids to one professor, and then this place like Olivet's 20-something kids in a class to one professor. It meant a lot to being able to figure out what I want from a college or whatever I go to.
Yeah. Do you have any specific stories or memories from your time with the ambassador program?
Yeah, I'd have to say while I was at Olivet, we had a Q&A with a few of the professors there, and they were all professors of different majors and stuff, and one of them was, giving a whole spiel about what his major was about, what he does, whatever, and some of the stuff he said really connected with me, and I was really interested in what he was talking about, and so I asked him, could you explain more about what this program is like? And he did, and afterwards I got his email, and, we emailed back and forth, and he sent me the list of courses I would have to take if I did his major, and some of the websites and stuff that his students have set up in the past, because I think that's one of the requirements for that class. So
you were able to build networks this summer then?
Yeah, I was able to network quite a bit through CapCan and what they've allowed me to do.
So, the specific program in all of that you were interested in, that was in the sort of new media and communications field, right?
Yeah.
What was the specific, can I ask what the specific degree was?
I don't remember.
Uh-huh.
I don't really remember, so.
Yeah, You done anything so far this school year to encourage going to college among your friends and peers at the Wilson Talent Center? I know that's kind of the goal behind the ambassador program, right?
Yeah, it is. I haven't done a whole lot. I've talked to my peers about it. I hear them talking about college. I'm like, oh hey, I know about this. I can help. And I've told them a lot to go to Dominic because he's our college guy here at Wilson Talent Center. So, but other than that, I haven't done a whole lot, which I need to get on.
I will say just even that's super helpful though, just sort of communicating the services that are offered and how students can sort of navigate is super helpful just because, again, it allows us to start having the conversation of what does college look like? How do you navigate that? So I think that, I don't think you should diminish that on your end. I think that is super valuable.
Yeah. You're a facilitator, you don't have to have all the answers, but you can point people in the direction of where to go and where to get the answers, and so, yeah, were you able to build connections among peers during the College Ambassador program among different students from different high schools through the program that you might have not met before?
Yes, yes and no. I got to know them fairly well, but also I'm not a huge social person, so I didn't really get any connections with them. I don't have their social media or anything, but I do know them, and I will definitely remember them because they're all very interesting people. Fun people to be around, and I hope we cross paths again in the future. But
yeah.
So we've kind of talked about this, but can we talk about the application process now? You think? So,
yeah.
Where are you at in the application process? What are you comfortable sharing? And maybe talk about some schools you're interested in and why.
I don't really know how to explain where I'm at in the process. I've kind of filled out my Common App info. So Common App is a website that has a bunch of different colleges on it. And it's a place where you can just fill out a bunch of general information that colleges ask for, and you can put colleges on there, and it's a really easy way to apply. So I've filled out, I think, all of the info that just Common App asks for, and I've tried to start answering some of the questions for the individual colleges that I want to go to, but I still need to do all the essay stuff and whatnot. I'm not too great with that kind of stuff, but yeah.
Has it been easier or harder than you expected?
Definitely a lot easier than I expected. I thought it was going to be a lot more complicated because even just 1-2 years ago, I got some stuff in the mail from colleges or from my school, talking about FAFSA or whatever. And I went on to try and do FAFSA because I thought, I got to do this, which I didn't. But I went to do that, and it was so confusing because I didn't know anything at the time. But after just getting a little bit of information, being taught a little bit of stuff from CapCan and also talking to counselors at my school, it's definitely a lot more simple and easy than it first appears to be.
Yeah.
Especially with Common App, and it's very useful.
How has having a college advisor like Dominic helped you prepare for this process?
A lot. It's helped a lot. It's been really great to have someone like Dominic available to me because my school doesn't have a college advisor per se. We just have an academic counselor, which obviously he knows about college and stuff, but that's not his whole job, it's not his whole spiel. So it's nice having someone who specifies in helping with college stuff. And he's really helped me figure out what I want in a college, size wise and just all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, and someone kind of close to your age too, right?
Yeah. Someone who can like understand what I want better, understand what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Can I interject?
Yeah.
Because we've kind of touched on this a bit, and what kind of schools are you interested in? Because I kind of know a bit about this, but maybe to the audience, like what's your big draw to some colleges? Because we have a good list going, I think, for you.
Yeah, so personally, I like a smaller college, where I'm going to have a class where I can be more personable with the people and the professor, the other students and the professor, instead of, a big auditorium where I'm just getting talked at for a couple hours and then that's it. And I want a place that's going to be, fun to be at. There's a lot of extracurricular stuff. I guess extracurricular, like clubs and stuff like that I can go to. Meet people, whatever it may be. A couple of the colleges I've been looking at: Olivet, as I mentioned earlier, Kalamazoo, Northern Michigan, and a few more, but honestly don't remember the names.
Do you have any tips for people in regards to how to research for college? How did you come across these schools?
I came across them originally in Olivet through the CAT CAN thing. We did a tour there and everything. And then I talked to Dominic and, we figured out I want a smaller school. And so he sent me a list of schools that he thought would fit well. And, I looked through them just real quickly, figured out, a list of like 5 that I think I'd like. And then we talked a bit more and kind of narrowed it down to a few more. And excuse me.
Yeah, so how the process worked was you wanted the small liberal arts college, right?
Yeah.
And I don't want to speak for you, but sorry if I am. And how it worked was I provided you a list of maybe a dozen schools that kind of fit broadly that criteria. And you narrowed it down, kind of investigating each one of them to be like, yeah, I like this one, not so much this one.
Yeah.
And then so I'm very happy with how that's gone, by the way. I just want to say,
It's gone a lot smoother than originally expected. It's been quite nice.
Good.
Yeah, do you have any other tips for students in the college application process? When to start, what to look for, how to just go about it and navigate about it?
Yeah, so I'd say you don't really have to start worrying until you're into your senior year. Even then you still have a good bit of time. But I'd start thinking about kind of what you want from a college as early as, like maybe halfway through your junior year.
Mm-hmm.
Just trying to figure out the kind of college you want. Not necessarily your major or anything like that, but just the kind of environment you want to learn in. And I definitely say go talk to people. Like counselors, teachers, college advisors, whatever you have available to you. Use it, talk to them, all that kind of stuff, and do college tours, do college visits. It helps a lot in figuring out what you want. Because maybe you have a school in mind that you want to go to, and then you visit, and it's like, man, this really is not at all what I thought it was going to be. It's a lot different, and then you might change your mind. Now you don't want to go there.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a lot better to figure that out before you commit to the school and all that kind of stuff, whether or not you actually want to be there.
Mm-hmm. I remember when I was touring schools, right? There's just a vibe to a school,
Yeah.
right? There's nothing really else to explain to it besides, wow, I really like the atmosphere here. Was that the same experience for you?
I did the MSU tour on the Green and White days, and I had the same experience that you had at all of that, where it was like, yeah, this is my jam. I don't know, I couldn't explain it to somebody else what it was, but it was
It's like, I like this.
yeah, because you had that at
This
all
is
that,
nice.
right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. It reminded me a lot of home because it's a smaller town, and yeah, it was nice. It was like, I belong here.
Yeah, that's awesome.
So I guess this is a bit of maybe a bit of a heavier question, but like, what are your dreams? Where do you want college to take you, and like, what do you want from the process when you're done?
Frankly, I'm not totally sure. I obviously want to, end up with a stable job, and pays well. I can live comfortably, but I also want, a job that I can have fun at. I'm not going to get burnt out or, just hate doing.
Yeah.
And I just hope college helps me figure out what that's going to be for me, as well as, hopefully meet people that I'm going to know for the rest of my life.
Definitely. What do you like to do? Do you think pursuing like a passion that you currently have right now is something that you want to look into in the future? I know we were talking before the podcast. You love to cook, right?
Yeah, I do really enjoy cooking. I like, cooking for people, seeing them just like my food, and like be happy with something I made them. But after working in that industry for a little bit, I don't think I want that to be my career path. It's definitely something I'll keep with me. It's going to be a hobby, something I'll do for myself and my friends, but it's not a job that I want.
Mm-hmm. And so, sorry.
Yeah, I do want to give you some credit for credit's due. I think you're selling yourself a bit short on your talents as a chef. You went to California.
San Diego,
Yeah.
as well as Disney World in Florida for a competition. The one in Florida was a group competition, and San Diego was an individual thing. But yeah, those were a fun time. I was with a lot of people that I know and I like. They're great people.
Yeah, nice. So you're still exploring, and this is the time to do it,
Yeah. I'm still trying to figure out like what I want to do, but my game plan right now is just figure out a college I want to go to and pick a major that I think is going to interest me, and just kind of wing it from that. Just go through. If I don't like it, switch my major.
Yeah, put yourself on a starting path to where you can take off from there. And possibilities are endless.
Exactly.
Right? Was that kind of what it was like for you too, where you went into college thinking or not knowing what you might have wanted to do, or thinking that you knew what you don't wanted to do, but it changed?
So speaking personally, I had a somewhat similar experience that you had. I went to Michigan State and I did a visit day for the James Madison College. And I was like, I don't know what I'm going to do when I'm done with this program, but I like the program. This works for me. The energy, the vibe, like the way it's structured, it was my thing. And I'm super happy I did that. And I think that being successful in college, it's important to just be comfortable with that and enjoy the place that you're attending and be comfortable in like the classes. So that's my big takeaway. I think we're on a similar page.
You can't learn if you don't like the environment you're in, Like, again, with the different class sizes, personally, I can't learn well if I'm just being talked at in a lecture, and then I have to basically do everything on my own. Just take notes from whatever he's saying and whatnot. But the smaller class where I can, ask the teacher questions, or, we get to interact individually, it's a lot better for me and being able to learn. So,
yeah. So I think we're kind of wrapping it up here. So I got one last question for you. At the end of every interview we do with the Cap Can Knows podcast, we do a thing where you state your name and you say what you know. So I ask you, Shawn, who are you and what do you know?
I'm Shawn, and I know that I'm going to college. I'm going to go to college.
Awesome.
Awesome,
Yeah. Well, that's all the time we have for today. I want to thank you, Shawn, for coming on the podcast to chat with CapCan.
Again, thank you for having me. It was a great time.
Yeah,
it was a good experience.
I totally agree. Thank you, Dominic, for joining us as well. For more information on CapCan, please be sure to follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram, or visit our website at capcan.org. Thank you for listening to us today, and we will see you again soon.